Right back at you. It's your boy Jay. Right back at you. We're dealing with the youth, 30 and under. We do some heavy communication. And I want all the viewers, listeners, watchers, and everybody that's on YouTube or whatever you're doing. I want you to pay attention to these young individuals because they are going to be coming out shining like stars. And I want you to get a real deep understanding about what they are saying and the directions so you can be able to relate. But this is important, being able to relate to the youth and build that connection. If we cannot relate to the youth, we cannot build a connection. We cannot save our people that look like you and I. But we got a new guest on the show. He's strictly out of the community. He represents the community. He's a thriving brother with understanding. Please tell us who you are.
Yes, sir. My name Shaq. My name is Shaquille Green. Born in Montgomery, Alabama, raised in St. Louis, Missouri. Been here be almost 14 years. Like next week.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. You heard him. Then you know what I'm saying. We already know. If y'all don't know, I'm gonna let these brothers and this sister introduce themselves again. And I want you to understand their name and the definition of their name. Then you can have the be able to build a connection and understand where they are going and what they are doing.
Now, brother Johannes, do not deceive God's gift in Swahili.
And my name is Bia T. Johannes. Bia being Afrikaans or Sanskrit language for champion or light, and Tiye is a Kemetic empress, mother of great pharaoh, who was known for her beauty and wisdom.
Okay. There y'all have. Before we get started, does anyone have any questions? Okay, this is going to be a prime example of dealing with the 30 and under. The difference in communication and understanding and connecting. We have 3 individuals on the panel. These 2 here are younger than this brother. But this brother is younger than 30, and all 3 of them come out a community here in the United States of America. But they all have different visions and understanding. So what we want to do tonight is experience the different understanding and views and see how we can connect that and be able to have a connection to our youth. First, I want to start off with the sister on the far end. I just want her to just explain a little bit of where you from, your community, and just where you going real quick.
Okay.
Not just, we ain't even gonna get into the other part of just leaving the country yet.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
self.
I'm 20 years old. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. Moved to the south suburbs of that area when I was a young girl. You know, that's where I lived until I graduated high school, and since then I've been, with Levy in St. Louis, Texas, back and forth to Chicago. And like Jay said, soon we'll be making our, exploration and repatriation to Africa, particularly looking towards Tanzania.
Okay. Now that's go ahead, my sister. We have some lady in the audience want to go ahead, man.
I heard that Tanzania, that part of Africa was part of the country or the not so great portion of Africa. Have you guys done the research on what part of the soil you want to touch down in first?
Yes.
No.
No. Hold on, man.
Okay.
Before we get just into that. What we are doing is gonna bring the connection, and they will be able see in order to understand something, you will have to bring the connection around. So
Excuse me, I
yes.
apologize.
No, you're great, because we are gonna get to that.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? So we wanna now let this brother pick up from what she has said, what she said,
okay. We just
explain
talking about
his,
street, okay,
and then he gonna explain. So this is gonna be
Okay.
the difference, and then we're gonna get to the soul.
okay, I
You-
apologize.
You're fine. You're fine. You're doing your
I'll
job.
keep listening.
So what we explain, basically like, you know what I'm saying, exactly like she did, where you from, where you going, and you know what I'm saying, and just where you going. So yeah, and your age.
Yes, I'm 23 years old. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and we met in Chicago. Like she said, traveled to Texas, back and forth. Here we are back in St. Louis, and here in about a month or 2 months, we'll be making our moves to Tanzania.
Okay.
And to answer the question that was asked, yes, we do know Tanzania is a part of a travel restricted country by the U.S. and it is listed with about 7 other countries for different reasons. And a lot of those reasons are political because it's a political game. So you got to look at it like if a country isn't one of the countries that's in the U.S. pocket, they're not going to want their citizens going to that country often because they don't got as much regulations on that country.
Okay.
Well, then answer that question.
Okay then.
Maybe we were trying to hold off. But thank you for that information. And let's explain, you know what I'm saying, your travel up, and I know you are going out. So
Oh yeah. I was born in Montgomery, Alabama. Spent my first 14 years down south. So I grew up in the country. Where I grew up at was more the city side of Montgomery, Alabama. But my father grew up on the countryside. Where all the farms and stuff, things of that. So that was my culture growing up. And I moved out due to my mother's passing, I had to move out here. So moved to a smaller city, to a bigger city with a bigger culture shock. So as far as like how people dress and a lot of things to do out here. More area. Even the dangerous stuff that I'm not things. Experience things here that I was never used to. And down south was a kind of a culture shock. So that's why I talk
tempo
about.
picked up a little bit.
Yes.
I got you.
Most definitely.
I feel you that. Go ahead, man. You say you want to ask a question.
Yeah, I want to ask some questions.
Go ahead,
I'm
man.
sorry, what's your name?
My name, they call me Shaq. My name's Shaquille.
Oh, Shaq.
Yes, my name Shaquille Green.
So you came to St. Louis when you were 14.
Yes.
That resonates with me for certain reasons. Do you still consider yourself from Alabama now that you're 27, 9 years old?
People say I might as well say I'm from St. Louis because I basically went to high school here and everything. I basically grew up here. So people say I might as well say I'm. But
what do you say?
I said I was born in Montgomery, Alabama, raised in St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you used to St. Louis by now?
Oh yeah. Well,
Would you ever go
back.
back to live in Alabama?
One thing that made me, I like St. Louis as far as I think it's a lot of stuff to do. Things I heard that I'm not used to in Alabama that I kind of enjoy. But
How tall is you, bro?
Huh?
How tall is you?
I was 6'6".
Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
But no, my preference is moving to Atlanta, Georgia.
Mhm.
That's my first place, Fun City. I got a lot of family there. That's my preference move.
Okay. Now that we understand that, now you see that everybody on this panel is going in a different direction, coming out of the same community. And they all three look like you and I. Now, if this brother here talking about going to Atlanta, Fun City, you know, she came from Alabama, moved to St. Louis, Missouri. More things to do, you know, different from Alabama. This brother here, born and raised here in St. Louis, travel, believe in the country. This sister here, born and raised in Chicago, travel, believe in the country. Now, Chicago, St. Louis, Alabama, then to St. Louis. How could we connect with these brothers and sisters on this panel? Because this brother going to Atlanta. Africa, Tanzania is not even on his mind. So that means if he pushing this message, you are pushing this message, they are pushing this message. How could we connect and we all four of us, and everyone in here speak English? There's a problem there. Can anyone answer that question?
Oh,
Okay, whoa.
The panel can answer.
Hey, listen, that's what I'm talking about. Now, who want to go first?
it don't matter. It don't matter.
Levy want to go first. Go ahead.
Earlier today, I had a cousin tell me, you know, as if it was almost breaking news, that I have family members, relatives that told him that direct great grandmothers are or have told them along the lines, we are the Native Americans, or the true Native Americans that were
So-called.
covered over. And my message to him, because I didn't get to give that message before he got off the phone.
We'll watch it.
But basically, before he got off the phone, I shared with him Ivan Van Sertima, who's an author, African continental author, that wrote about Africans exploring the world, circumnavigating the globe, prior to Columbus discovering the so-called Americas. And with that, I was just going to tie that into saying that even before colonialism, there was a system of trade and navigation amongst our people from the mother continent. And even if you don't want to go to the continent, if you don't say you want to separate from the continent so much as to not have anything to do with them, don't you know you're cutting off the root? That's the question I have to pose.
You want to say something?
I can answer, I would say, to expound off of what you said and answer the question. Not only did Africans circumvent, the globe before Columbus, before Europeans, people are referencing their great grandmothers and their mothers, and they're talking about people born within the last 300 years, and that is post the transatlantic slave trade. And the anti-African mind frame started in slavery. So we're talking about where a time frame where plantations and reservations were already established and coexisting for hundreds of years already. And then you have these Africans mixed together in the mix, and you have some claiming they're not African at all because one, that's been beaten out of you since the day you got on this land, and they don't want you, haven't wanted you to repatriate or go back or to have a mind frame of, I'm not just confined within the space of America. I can go anywhere in this globe and find somebody that I have a connection with. They don't want you to feel that. They allow the Arabs, Chinese, Hispanic, European to feel it. Only person who don't feel it is the people that they try to push the tribalism on the most. All this American versus the UK Africans versus the continental Africans versus the Jamaicans versus the Haitians versus the Dominicans. That's all tribalism on a global scale because we're a global people. So how we can connect with people in Atlanta, people in Africa, people in the UK is through the internet, through the technology that we've already been blessed with. You know, back then Marcus Garvey had to do what he did through ship and newspaper. Now we got the internet. I'm talking to people who could watch this from anywhere right now. So there is no reason as to why. I know people on the ground right now who, shout out to Najee, born in DC, repatriated to Tanzania last year. She started a publishing company in Tanzania, you know. Then she's like, okay, how am I going to ship to people in America? Because we don't own the ships, we don't own the ports, the boats right now to get a low cost, you know, on shipping and stuff like that. But if she has somebody in America that she trusted, that she could send them some funds to set up a printing press right where they are in Ohio, DC, Atlanta, wherever, and they printing and copying on the same trade, you know, they got the same, you know, they're representing the same business. You know, that means they feeding people in Atlanta and feeding people in Tanzania. And that's how we spread the revenue. You know, that's how we use the foreign exchange market to our advantage. That's the privilege that Africans in America realize they blessed with, but a lot of want to be selfish with it and want to perform what's called neo-colonialism and start to play big brother to everybody else because they wasn't blessed with it. And that's not what we're on. We're going to Africa to enhance Africa, to help Africans be more African because the Western culture was impeded on everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, y'all heard it from there. Anybody got any questions for the roll over to my brother here?
But what? We just answering the connection question.
All right. Well, I just think that, you know, as far as connection, I feel that what you were saying, and I think that one of our problems is we are divided, you know, as a nation. And, you know, one thing about life is, you know, finding happiness if it's moving to Atlanta, moving to Africa, and, you know, I'll get a little tongue twisted.
No, you fine.
You know.
Oh man, take your time. Cause see, listen, this is what it's about. This is why it's so important. Take your time and speak. Cause I understand. We understand. They understand. And I hope all the viewers understand. Cause this is what this here is about. Now this is about the 30, communicating with the 30 and under. He 27. 20 what?
23.
23. This ain't too far off the age, but still in the 20s.
It's a nice decade straight.
But if you 27, you 20 and 23, how much of a decade it is? 10 years is a decade.
20 years to
10 years is a decade.
20 to 30.
I'm talking about between these individuals here.
20 to 27.
Right. So, but even though I said it's 30 and under, but if what I'm saying is all three of these individuals, including I, come from a community, a black community. We come from understanding whatever was given to us. All of us striving to go somewhere. The connection is how we disconnected. Like he said, like when they spoke, what they spoke right then My brother was like he said, wait, hold on, because I'm going to Atlanta. Well, hey, you find happiness in Atlanta, or and that would the community, the connection. There's no community. I mean, not saying they can't communicate, but what I'm saying is, this is what we got to start working on and building.
Well, she just gave an example of a connection that we can use.
Right. Go ahead, my brother.
Well, I'll just say another thing about connection is, trying to get an understanding of each other. And, I was saying the age difference for them, being younger, I see they have a lot more knowledge, and that's something I maybe need to, study more on. So, So maybe, that connection could come from, hey, maybe you should inspire me to do more research on, about my roots.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm trying to build.
Yeah.
The connection.
And maybe they, see where I'm coming from over while, just want to, be stable and, enjoy life. And find happiness, how they say. So I can find my happiness in London, they can find theirs, in Africa, what they enjoy to do it, enjoying their life,
Right.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. And see, this was the key right here. Like you said, the information is different. And we all come out of the community, but this information ain't applied in his community. The individuals around ain't applying this type of information. So they're younger than him applying this type of information. But they go in their community, some of the people in their community ain't applying this information. So there's a disconnection, no understanding. The key is when he said, I'm willing to get understanding, inspired to get understanding, learn, well, maybe I could understand, then we could build a connection.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand your happiness might be there, my happiness might be here.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be able to build an understanding, get an understanding to build a connection to who knows what takes place after that. Now, go back to what she was saying. If that's operating now, and you connected here, and we're on the same level, then we got a bridge going. We got a connection. Because we understand. We're willing to take the chance to get an understanding. That's the whole point of this show, is taking a chance to get an understanding and listen. And the key is to make that understanding clear and everything going, we have to have laws. Law gonna be a structure and discipline. Some type of law is in the young brother because these brothers and sisters is younger than him. But there's some type of law in it that operated that make him say, hey, I might need to check into that. You know what I'm saying? Because just like you say, I'm going to do this because this doing that. For us, say for instance, I'm going to go over on this soil because we can harvest there. We living in the concrete jungle. You can't plant nothing in the jungle. The city is the jungle. You can't plant nothing in the jungle. It's concrete everywhere. Make you think. That's how you build a connection. Getting an understanding, researching. Don't never be afraid to accept something that you don't know, especially if it's good for your soul and it's healthy. You have to be willing. The youth will be able to show the old. That's just how it's going to go. But we have to get on the law. We have to have some type of law. That's mandatory. And then before we close, I just want to hit a few topics real quick. I want us first, and I want everybody on the panel to say their piece. But the topic we're going to close out on is law and discipline. We start with Sus, and they understand universal laws and discipline.
1 minute.
1 minute.
To me, law and discipline basically means, a code and the application of that code, the dedication to that code. I am a firm, believer that, us as people are wired like machines. You know, your mind is a machine, and whatever program you on, you know, right now culturally it's a program that someone else put you on. We're not in the position to write our own programs. You know, they don't teach us to try to educate ourselves. They don't encourage us to educate ourselves, and they don't encourage us to rely on ourselves. So once you break that barrier and you attempt to do those things and you rewrite your program, you know, you update your computer, you get better downloads, you know, you become a different person. And, you know, I use the terms black and African only because you know, there's a phenotypical appearance to African people, and we don't have a term that we agree on in African because that's the name of the continent at this point, you know, and everybody on the globe who is a black African to me, you know, we are connected in some way, shape, or form. So you do not have to repatriate to Africa in order for us to have a connection. It's just that you have to see me as your kin, no matter where I'm from, no matter if I was born in the continent, no matter if I was born in the UK, born in America. If you don't see me as your kin, you're off code because you're, you know, you're self-absorbed, and you know, you have a warped idea of reality because of the colonizer that you're up under, basically. So if you cannot view Africans as your kin in the UK continent or Africa, you know, that's because, you know, you're compromised mentally.
Okay. Go ahead, my brother.
To me, law is a primordial structure in our community that has been something that has withstand from the beginning of time. And discipline is the application of consistency and work.
Okay.
And for me, because me and my fiance has determined our, you know, path has taken us to Africa. Discipline is in knowing your purpose and doing the necessary works every day.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, I say long distance to me, I say standing for what you believe in, like you were saying, staying consistent. You know, having the will to make the sacrifices you have to make to have, you know, to have the discipline in you, knowing that it can take you, you know, farther in the long road, and you know.
You good, my brother? You good. I know you good, my brother. You did
Well,
good.
we
You
have a
did
question. Go.
No, I just want to know, is that moving there?
We're gonna wrap it up. This has been great. I enjoyed it. All I want to let y'all know is that this was very important because all these individuals have different dimensions in life. They go in different places in life. They're not even on the same pathway, but were able to bring the connection together by law and discipline. She spoke it, he spoke it, and he bagged it up, regardless of the fact of the disconnection, because law will bring us together in one piece.
Okay.